so glad you're here. And for those of you who are new, my name's Cody. So for all my regular subscribers who watch me on a regular basis, I know this isn't really working on a vehicle, but I wanted to show you this table because it's kind of going to be the backbone of a lot of projects in the future. And if you've never seen my channel ever, you probably clicked on this video because you want to build a welding table yourself and you're kind of looking for ideas. Give me a couple minutes. You might think some of these things are interesting. Again, for those of you who don't know, this is, I guess you could call it an automotive channel. I kind of like working on those older 90s, 80s vehicles, and I learned really quick that I needed to learn how to weld. And every single time I do a welding project, I was always working on my hands and knees on the concrete floor here, and I'd always end up either burning myself or struggling to hold pieces real still. And it was just a struggle all the way through, and let alone trying to film it all. So I knew I wanted to build a welding table, but I didn't want to spend that much money into building something this big. And it just so happens I had the perfect opportunity to get a lot of this steel for free. I was walking my dog out past my local hardware store, and in their back lot they had a bunch of like metal cages, and I didn't really know what they were, but it was by their scrap pile, and I just got to talking with the manager, and they said, yeah, it's for shipping riding lawnmowers to their store, and they were just going to send it off to scrap. So she said, you can have it, but you got to take all of it. So I got a literal truckload of free rectangle and square tubing. And I should say that all this square tubing that you see is 16th inch thick walled steel. And the three sizes that I have here are 1 inch by 2 inch rectangle tubing, 1 inch square tubing, and 3/4 inch square tubing. So the table itself is 4.5 foot by 2 feet wide. And I got a grid of holes here that I'll talk about in a second, but I knew I was gonna have to build bigger projects in the future that I'd probably outgrow this really quick. So I wanted to build something underneath the table that could support bigger projects, and that's why I built expanding sides. Now all 4 sides expand here, and you could go roughly like a foot to a foot and a half out from each side. Technically 2 feet, but then it gets kind of unstable. You're like right on the edge of pulling these things out. So you turn a 2 foot wide table into a 4 foot wide table, and it just supports longer pieces of steel, longer pieces of wood if I'm doing some woodworking project. But whatever it is, it just gives me more options, and that's why I wanted to build something like this. So the way I did it was, and I'll give you a walk around of everything I'm talking about here, guys, in a second, but I just welded some 1 inch bar underneath this frame, and then each expanding side has 3/4 inch square tubing welded to it, and the steel just fits right in the 1 inch square tubing. On the top plate here, I have a grid of holes, and it's a 3x8 section. I kind of got this inspiration from other videos that I've seen on YouTube of like professional welding tables or just hobbyists who have a bunch of holes. I didn't need that many, but I wanted to still be able to clamp anything down that I needed to on this entire deck. So I just have a couple examples here. This is a 90-degree jig, for example. I can put it almost anywhere on the table that I need, and I can still weld comfortably. So I should say these holes are 3/8 inch holes for these bolts that I got at Home Depot. I believe they're 1.5 inches long. They're all countersunk, drilled and tapped, just standard holes, coarse thread. And then each expanding side has nuts underneath them, and the way you tighten these down is just run some bolts, and it kind of sandwiches the pieces of steel, and now it's rock solid. So that's how I designed it. There's probably better ways around it, but again, I just got some ideas off other YouTube videos and made it fit for this application. So that's everything up top. I should say that the 1/4 inch plate here cost me about $90. The bottom inch plate is 16th inch steel, and I think altogether at my steel yard I paid around $100 for it all. So kind of a bummer. They sell steel by the pound. I thought they sold it by the foot. I was widely mistaken, but everything is pretty much perfect for my needs here. This 1/4 inch plate is pretty sturdy. I don't think I'm ever gonna need anything thicker. The caster wheels I had to redesign several times because the ones I tried at first were made for something kind of like this rolly cart here. Only made for like 500 pounds. This table here just could not, it was too heavy for those casters, so I had to redesign it completely. and weld in some 1/4-inch plate and bolt on those casters there. They're rated for like 2,000 to 2,200 pounds. I don't know exactly, I don't remember, but it's a ridiculous amount of weight. If you want, I can link that down in the description below. Just ask me in the comment section. But at least it feels good to have a sturdy foundation. So, and then you can see I have all my equipment down here, my flux core welder, my air compressor, my chop saw. And I just like that I can wheel this out to wherever I need on my property and have a sturdy welding table that has everything that I need to get started. So that's pretty much it, guys. If I leave anything out, if you have any more questions, let me know down in the comment section below. I should say that all this square and rectangle tubing was about 80 some feet. It took me like 10 to 15 pounds of welding wire. And altogether, I think I paid maybe $200 for the table. Because I got most of the steel for free. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked the walk around and hope to see you in the next video. Take care.